All right, let's see if we can get a signal from the Bat Cave, as is tradition with YouTube. And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Jedi Academy, the stream where we hang out with you wonderful and amazing folks and answer all your questions about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, a mobile game brought to you by Capital Games. I'm your man, Ranger J 1999, and I'm glad to have you guys here. Now, this is a Q&A show we do every Saturday at this time. And it's pretty simple how this works. If you have a question you want to pose to myself or any panelist that comes on, don't ask me. They'll show up when they show up. Sometimes we have a ton of panelists. Sometimes it's just me and one other person. Sometimes it's just me. It doesn't matter. We're still going to answer questions. And if it's just me, I'm going to answer your questions. The straight Q&A show. Feel free to put your questions into the chat. Make sure you put the word question in front of your actual question, comment, or statement, and we will answer to the best of our abilities. But that's the best way to for me to answer your questions is to actually put the word question for your actual question statement so I can identify it, knock it out of the park, get it squared away. If you don't, I might miss it. Sometimes there's a ton of people here in chat, and we've had issues before where sometimes, and if this does happen, that's fine. If I miss a question, all you got to do is re-put it in there, say, hey, I answered it, or say, hey, I asked a question, it's not in there. If I can't find it, because sometimes YouTube doesn't, for whatever reason, and it's happened, people can tell you, then just put it in again. It's totally fine. We'll get it squared away. Good morning to everybody here on Saturday here in the U.S. It's probably late afternoon into the evening time over in Europe. Glad to have everybody here. Wherever you are in the world, glad to have you here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Make sure you give your greetings. Say hi to me, say hi to all the other skewers. You know, this is an interactive stream. I like to interact with everybody. And yes, yesterday, Friday night, we did the best we could with no content really. Just some TV, some conquest and stuff. We hung out. I drank a couple shoeies. That happened. And then we hung out with Heinze. Made fun of Ram for an hour, which was I mean, he got roasted. And then we roasted Heinze as he did Jedi Survivor last night, which was a blast. So we had a lot of fun. Now we're doing the Jedi Academy with you guys. So there you go. So get your questions in. Get your greetings in. Good morning to Jason Hobby. Says word to the mothership. Trey hanging out with us. Trey V says good morning, Ranger. Long time. Hey, glad to have you here, Trey, as always. What else in 3 says good morning. Happy weekend. Good morning to you. What else in 3? Trey says question. Need some advice. I'm 8 million. Just finished Jabba. Congratulations. Deciding whether to go for Inquisitor Ray, the last DL for me, or to go for the G ship coming out if I have Malgus. If you have Malgus, I'd kind of wait to see the ships. Then I would go Ray. We're still waiting to see here in the next couple weeks what's going to be that next ship. Most likely Galactic Chase. We know we got 2 more ships coming, so we'll see what's going to happen with that. We know that's kind of the format they've been doing of late. I'd say wait for it a little bit. If you have any characters that need to be 7-star for Ray, you can still work on those, but I would save any gear or stuff for any gearing that you might need for the ship, because it's going to be like any other ship event that we've had. It's a nightmare to get that ship, capital ships up and running. So I would wait for that. So yeah, wait for the ships. And anything, at 8 million, if you don't have Inquisitors, probably start getting them 7-starred more than Ray. I'm glad you got Jabba. That's a big deal, Trey. And congrats again, because that is a huge deal to have Jabba unlocked. I think the Inquisitors will be the next thing. Start working toward Riva with your guild and stuff. Yeah, let's wait a little bit. Work on stars and those characters. Let's see what's going to go on with the ships. If there's going to be Galactic Chase, is it going to be a Marquee? That's still a possibility. So yeah, no, I think that's I think putting off Ray a little bit, a couple weeks, not going to hurt anything. Get everything lined up, hoard a little bit, then yeah. Good morning to you, Wolfels. This question: do you have a favorite dumb way Heinz died yesterday, or all equal in how bad they were? I mean, my God, Wolfel, he knows, dude. And we were playing sound bites. We had stuff for his panel, his soundboard. Every time he died, we would do the James Bond, Golden Eye thing. Da 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 da. Let me do something. But yeah, it was It was so funny. And him just trying to do the climb the wall and jump, and especially when he got to multiple stuff, it was just like, so good. I get that count going. When I got off at it, just the tutorial. When I got off around midnight, my time, uh, he had already died like 60 something times. They were like, "Can we get to 100?" I don't know where he ended up on that, but Jesus Christ, it was so funny. I swear to God, I've never laughed so hard in my life.
Howdy.
Well, good look who it is. It's Carthaginikus. Hello, Carthaginikus.
Howdy, Ranger. How are we
Oh,
doing?
we are doing just muy bien. How are you this fine morning?
Oh, waking up still. Got my
Yes, yes,
coffee.
yes, yes.
Got my, oh, trying to find the will to live.
The
Trying to
will to
find the will
live,
to do some
the
some
will to,
CMs.
yeah, will to live. Oh,
It's
for
this is
TB.
yeah. Well, it's honestly I'm at the point right now where I'm gonna just go pull up hot utils and see if we even need points, and if not, I'm not gonna bother.
Yeah, the only thing I did all my combat missions last night. I was waiting to see deployments, and I was like, okay, let me go deploy. Quick, easy, done. So my deployment is done. Because I was looking at Dark Side, like, oh, I already gave up too many characters. Well, I didn't have enough relicates to really form a good team anyway, so I was like, that's fine. Because at Dark
Yeah.
Side, I'm just gonna go in there and get slaughtered.
Well, it's yeah, once you get the ops filled, it's not terrible, but honestly, the every single team you run in there requires like having at least like double tank on every
Yeah,
team
it's
to
horrible.
survive long enough to get your because like phase 2 is really easy for like almost every GL because it's got, characters that you have bonuses against for the most part.
Yeah,
But frickin' the first phase, just eat a bunch of damage. Okay, let me get right on that.
yeah. Ronan Zai, good morning. Says good morning, skewers. Good morning to you, my friend. Yeah, yesterday I was doing Conquest, dude. I wanted to throw something, dude. I went in there in the Sector 4 boss with Jabba because, don't
Hmm.
use a GL and or underlying force user or so, Sith and Jedi, yeah, all that shit. I'm like, okay, this is Jabba time. It's against Imperial Troopers. Two deaths later, full beat down. I was like, I fucking hate this game.
Yeah, well, they're just too stupid. Like it's the fact that you can't kill them. You have to kill them like 5 times over, which is the real challenge.
Yeah,
That makes it really difficult to get anything productive done on that mission
it's
because you're
so
just like, oh,
it's so
poop.
bad. There's just certain fights here, and then the feats. I'm just like a zombie now. When I do conquest, I'm just like, time to make the donuts. I made the
Yeah,
donuts. Okay, let's do it
exactly.
again. It's just back and forth. I wake up today. I'm just like, huh? Let me just do my 4 battles. Underline force users. Mother doesn't talk. Doc a zombie. You can get some more kills. Okay, this is super fun. I'm enjoying this tremendously. Oh boy, this is this oodles of fun. It's not.
I mean, like I don't hate it, but like it definitely is just like I hate how sector like 4 and 5 are basically like if you don't have the right GL available,
Or team.
because yeah,
Because they
well
make you
that's
do
just
certain feats, and you have to wait till you get through the sector to go back in and be like, okay,
yeah,
I have to.
I quit unless I can go with 100% stamina. I quit trying to do the sector boss feats on the first try because I'm like, there's just no way. Like they're just too stupid good in the sector 4 and 5 that if you go in like with even a small speed disadvantage, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna kick rocks in.
Yeah,
Cool. I'm on it. Oh,
yeah,
poop.
it's great. It's great. And then you got to get
Oh yeah,
to
we got
then you
way over.
then we got to go to and then you have to go to the sector 4 boss just to knock out the other 2 feats in this one, which is the was it the easy one is the defeat the rebel units, and then no, that's yeah, the trooper feat.
Yeah,
um so yeah, like, oh god. But at least you can do that with one kill with put speed or frenzy on your drill trooper, get ahead of them, and then you know try to kill the Night Sisters. You got to set it up so you can just kill over and over again. But good god, there's some stuff in here.
yeah.
I just It is what it is, I mean, I just, God. No, I was talking about this yesterday, dude, because I was doing the battles, and for some reason, I don't know what it is. Dark side phase 4, nightmare. Light side phase 4, it's just cakewalk. Like, I just a random people with GMK, I'm like, I win. It's like,
Yeah,
it's really weird.
it's just that one modifier that gives them the bonuses for when they start attacking at a turn, and then like every light side team has lots of those mechanics, and so it's very easy to just exploit
Yeah,
that but modifier to be like, oh, well, like every GL benefits from this except for Ray. And you have, I mean, like even Gas 501st can do the mission just fine because of the attacks out of turns that you get with that team.
yeah,
And like you're not taking a ton of damage. It's just like the first couple of phases with the on the light side are really rough because of their modifier that allows them to every time that they attack on a turn, they gain stacking offense.
yeah,
And then they throw the other modifier on there that whenever they use a special, they call allies to assist.
yeah,
So it's like, like 2 or 3 turns and they've ramped so damn high that you just can't take the hits anymore. But that's then you get like the phase 4. They're like, oh, we're just gonna drop that one off and we're gonna give you one that's beneficial. You're like, you son of a.
yeah. And then phase 2, it's pretty. You can get bad RNG with that because again, you're facing the troopers in that one, and it can go wrong very quickly. Not so much in
Yeah,
the first round, but the second round, man, they get a little loose, you're in trouble. So especially
yeah,
those purge troopers, man, they're nasty. The middle zone
yeah,
is pretty straightforward. I mean, that cartel is a win. Bounty hunters are an automatic win.
yeah. The only zone I hate in the middle is Kessel because of the confusion.
Hmm.
Like it's so obnoxious. Just be like, okay, well, you're basically just better off playing the entire battle on basic only because you get one stack of confusion
Your host.
and you don't gain any buffs
You have
anymore.
to
It's
have
like,
somebody in there
oh,
that cleanses it, cleanses the team. That's your best bet because then
yeah,
you're not going to have a problem with Jabba because Jabba will just, he can use his second ability,
he'll power
cleanse.
through. Yeah,
Yeah, he'll
he'll power
power
through it
through.
all.
And you can use basics because you get a lot of calls and assists with that too.
Yeah,
But yeah, Dark Side, man. Although I got to say, doing Dark Side Phase 3 with Riva and the Inquisitors, cake. It just
yeah.
murders the Night Sisters. And as you guys know, and if you don't know, we are now the proud owners. I don't know how many we got in the guild, 30 something, of Riva. And that's really, really nice.
I
That's
think we have
cool.
38 out of 45
Yeah.
people who are eligible,
Mm-hmm.
or it might be a little higher.
Whatever
It's
it is,
it's a it's a good number though.
yeah, whatever it is, it's a good number. And God darn it, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be nice for TW this next one because I mean, we don't usually fight towards the top of the gauntlet just because of the fact of how many we usually don't have everyone sign up.
Yeah.
So we're usually missing somewhere around 50 million or so GP.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun to kind of have the Reva wall and just kind of watch our plebe opponents
Yeah.
die against it. Though I was doing some testing the other day, and there's actually some pretty with the current Datacron set. There's some pretty budget counters to Reva right now, so it's not that hard. Like
Yeah.
honestly, Lord Vader with the stacking protection upcron will just he can damn near solo it himself. So which will be good information for you when you go to do TB, not TB, GAC.
Well, I've got Vader on defense. I may switch him out for, I don't know. I've already got, well, we've got three GLs in defense, the one we set. I don't know if maybe I pull Vader, but.
I would pull Vader and put if you don't have Reva down, I'd put Reva down.
Well, Riva's down, right? We did Riva and Vader
Yeah,
in the same zone. Remember, we had El Jabo in the back. We did three
yeah.
GLs. Because we
I
used
just
Starkiller versus Ray, I think.
I just for right now I don't see any possible lineup that of Lord Vader that stops Fennec in fives. So I'm just like, I don't really want to put her down on defense or put Lord Vader on defense because it's just gonna get Fennec.
Yeah. We may pull him. Maybe move Jabba to the front, just put a credit team in the back. I think we can
Yeah,
get away with it.
I just like literally Lord Vader plus the Lord Vader plus that Kron, it's literally just like, oh yeah, by the way,
By the way,
like it's gonna get dicey. You might have to throw a Watt with the protection with the shield tech on it just to keep the ability blocks if you don't have like an R9 Lord Vader.
yeah.
But I mean, most of the counters we use C for, you could probably get away with like C plus a tank, so somebody to eat the first reduction.
Well, I
But
think
yeah.
see Watt with some Sith tanks. I think we thought could handle it because they're going to take a lot of out of turns, and he's going to get the ultimate quick.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it'll be manageable to get around some of that stuff, but I just looking at the board and was like, it's not really. I'm just gonna go with all my budget defense teams and then just go take all my GLs to offense and see what happens.
let's see here. What else? Any three question? I'm not sure what you mean here. What else on three? It says spills Cal go to relic 8, or if he find relic 7. What?
I'm assuming that should say should Cal go to R8 or is he fine at R7? He is fine at R7. The only advantage of taking him higher relics is to get that extra 3% dodge chance on him. But he doesn't really get a ton of benefits
Relic 8.
out of all relic eights. Because like none of the teams he's with is mastery based. Most of his stuff that's based on his unique for how annoying he is. So it's not like it's a massive difference. And I would save the R7, the R8 mats for right now because you're better off saving those for raid teams or for stuff for TB for later on. But right now, he only needs to be R7 for the TB. I think all we know that when Zepho comes in, Zepho's only going to be an R7 planet. So there's nothing really to get too worked up on going beyond that. Because they have none of the special missions are beyond R7 for any of the characters they've added. And yeah, I would stop there.
There you go. Knowing is half the battle. All right, Kale. So get your question. And remember, guys, the format is the word question for any extra question, comment, or statement, and we will get that squared away. Ruins out of the 100% offense at full HP. Kron on Reva's great. 8th becomes a wrecking ball.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's the one I'm trying to roll for right now. We tried to get it on Tuesday, and I didn't get it with the one I rolled up.
it was Thursday when we unlocked Riva.
Was it Thursday we tried for it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I tried to re-roll and just could not get that. It's the level 6 ability for the UFAs. Like,
yeah. Yeah. But oh my god, dude! I'll tell you one thing that Kron though is monstrous. Like I fought a JMK and the JMK can still win versus Riva, especially without her Omicron's active. If the Kron is like tons of armor, from set 7, like that'll help counteract Riva because if you're going with set 6, you just don't have any armor pen. So when they're stupid thick, the battle goes on too long. And then they can start picking off who they want. But it was funny to watch. Like literally, I went against JML with Riva, and when it got to 8th Brother's turn, he killed 3 people with his AOE. So literally, by the only person that had moved on the JML team was JML, and all he did was a basic. And by the time JML got to a second turn, his entire squad was dead besides him. And he was like at no health left. I was like, oh, I can get behind this. I like it when Riva just destroys everything.
That's right. What else confirmed? Yes, what Karth said. Spill on my phone is painful. It is. Oh, goody! Look, it's the Geek Greek. Says hello, everyone. Lurking while working as always. Chat as soon as I get a chance. Hope he gets lots of customers. Yo, Noonan. Nathaniel Morgan says, but Karth has a relic 8 Force Whitaker. Have you come to kill me, my child? He does. Karth has all the
Yeah, but that's different. I'm allowed to do what the hell I want because I've got everything at relics.
That's right. You do you, Karth.
And I can still tell the players that it's still a better decision for you to not do the things that I've done.
Yeah. As we're sitting here, get your questions in. Again, make sure you put the word question in front of your initial question statement. Make sure you give your greeting. Also, it's on YouTube. I know we've gone full time Twitch, but we're still going to do this on YouTube. And to support the content here on YouTube, make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed. That's always a big way to support the content on YouTube. Tomorrow we're going to try to knock out another lore with idiots. Might be down an idiot, but for good reason. Good luck to Kashmir's daughter, who is in the state volleyball tournament, I think, or whatever. So hopefully they win, get to the state finals, and if it is, he won't be available. But that's all right. We'll still do a lore video tomorrow, get it recorded and out to you guys. We haven't had one. The next weekend, I'm pretty sure we're not going to be able to do one either. Previous weekend we had Mother's Day. That weekend's going to be Memorial Day. I'm going to be slammed because that's a big day, big weekend for me and stuff. I think Finn wants to do maybe D&D on Monday. It better be at night because that's the only way I'm going to be able to do anything on Memorial Day. If it's in the afternoon, I'm like, no, I'll be grilling and eating and stuff.
I have plans,
I have
fool.
plans for the whole weekend.
Yeah, well, and I will be gone June 3rd. I'm going on a fishing trip with my old man out to the coast.
Nice.
And then the following weekend, we're doing Father's Day a weekend early because we're to the point now where enough of the 7 kids have got their own kids that we might need to, let them have a Father's Day.
Yeah. There you
So
go.
we're doing it a week early, and then I'll miss those 2 at least, and then I don't know.
We're going to be busy. So we're still going to record. So if we can't get the full idiots, we'll still have idiots. So
I mean, yeah, there's always idiots around. Trust me.
we'll have either Cash. We'll have 2 of the 3 idiots there for those weekends. So, all right. So yeah, get your questions in. I know it's a slow week. It was a really dead week in Star Wars news.
Oh yeah, Jesus, man!
I mean, I really thought we would get something, but we didn't. So
I really thought the chase was going to happen this week.
too.
I'm a little surprised they didn't do anything with it.
Which makes me think we're not getting that ship till
Well,
August.
oh yeah, the Leviathan. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's not coming until August minimum.
Yeah.
Because of how their structure is with that. Like the Leviathan is the summer grind, pretty much. There's nothing super exciting going on with that. But they did say that we would have both ships would be released before the Fury is unlocked.
Right.
So that gives us until mid-June for that to be done, so to speak.
Right.
Oh, how are we doing, people? All right? We've got about 20 million on each one left.
Starts doing this thing. So
yeah.
I'm
mathing.
Well, someone was asking me about Cal too because the event, the shards are, about to go away. Like, does that mean Cal's coming next week? I'm like, no.
No.
Trust me, it's a ways away.
No,
they could shock us. Yeah, we don't know for sure, but just with past cadences.
We all thought the same thing with GI, right?
Yeah.
GI Fifth Brother came out like 2 weeks before Kenobi was supposed to come out, and everyone was dead set convinced that we were going to get the GI event somewhere around the beginning of Kenobi. No, we got it at the end of Kenobi.
Yeah.
It's like, no, the characters have to be farmable, and they'll be probably farmable they might move the farm up date a little bit on Saw Gerrera to be out a little sooner. But I mean, realistically, the event won't be here till the end of June, early July.
Yeah. What I think Great Inquisitor came out was beginning of July.
Yeah, when he came out the last week of June is when he dropped.
Yeah.
But it was literally 10 weeks after Fifth Brother released.
Right.
So you had the month to the marquee event, the month to in shipments, and then went farmable for 2 weeks and then was there. So
Yeah, they want people to be able to go for it the first time because
Yeah,
unlike it's
it's
not
a
gonna we don't know when it'll come the event come back. It's just like the Grand Inquisitor. If you don't get it the first time, hell, we didn't see that sucker for 6 months. So,
well,
uh,
and the key takeaway with the Cal event, it's a marketing event, guys. Like it's the reason why the events are lasting for a month is because they are trying to drum up hype from Survivor into new people playing this game. They wanted the game those characters to be available for the players who might pick it up on May the 4th celebration, right?
mhm,
So they made it as easy as possible to get into these marquee events, and they gave people a month of time to get things up to being able to do it. So this whole thing is just a push for people to get involved with those marquees.
yeah,
It's nothing to do with the events coming at the end of May or anything like that. No, it's all just about they wanted players to have the time to do it. I mean, you guys just have, because most of us couldn't do it. They ran a what 3 month long marquee event for the freaking Mando characters, but we just didn't have access to it because if you already had them at a certain star level, you got cut out. So you just ignored it. I mean, like it's marketing. It's just low hanging fruit that's easy for a lot of people to get into, and they're just hey, we want you to get the characters that you like right now so that you'll be invested in playing this game.
yes.
That's all it's for.
What it's for? Oh boy, Helly's got some questions. All right,
I saw the block
a
of
wall of
text show
text.
up
Yeah,
with my
yes.
name.
Good morning, LBC. Good morning, BD. Good morning, Nathaniel Morgan. Good morning, everybody in chat. I haven't said your name. Don't worry. I will try to get your shout out and say thank you for being here. Helly, question for Karth, one of two. Oh my God. Here we go, Karth. In 10-ish days, I'll have my Jabba's ultimate mats done. He, the Wookiee, Boogie, Leia, and SGL Lando are at Relic 5. How long before I get them all to Relic 8? That's really ambiguous question.
Helenix is
How
going
much
to
hoarding did you do?
100% comes down to how well is your guild doing in the Crate Dragon raid, and I pray to God they're doing the Crate Dragon raid. Otherwise, you're going to have a really, really hard time getting the mats. Realistically, depending on how well you can farm everything else up to like the R7 materials, realistically, it should take about 2 weeks to get a character from R5 to R8, depending on what you need, what your guild's doing on in the Crate Dragon raid, because you'll get about yeah, if you're at the low box for the tokens, if you're hitting the 130, you should be able to get enough arrow magnifiers in a week if you're doing 2.5 raids a week. So you should be able to get the mat squared away probably every 10 to 14 days for to go to R8 from an R5 to R8 character. It might be a little faster than that depending on how the RNG drops for you. But I would say reasonably you could probably see an R8 every 7 to 10 days if you're hitting above the 130 box. Um, so you could probably get one in a week if you're farming hard on your single data,
Well,
would be my guess.
that's the other question. How much daily crystal should I be spending on Cantina energy refreshes to facilitate this more effectively? Should be doing
So
the 3 100s. That's what I do
you
every
should
day.
be doing the 3/100s because so I guess the other question to follow with that, Helenix, is how much are you willing to spend on the game, or are you spending in the game in general? Because for me personally, I just buy the 100 the tier 3 selling data. I just buy that out of the shipment store every week. I don't farm it because it is such a pain in the butt to farm and it's so inefficient to farm that it's almost better just to buy it with crystals or buy it through conquest currency. $0 born freedom.
Jesus.
So I would try to get your as much of that as you can out of conquest while it's live. But yeah, like what Daniel Morgan said, the 3/100s, and just farm it up as you need them. I like to do I like to get everything up in tiers because you still blow through a good chunk of it, and then pick up what you can on the last ones when you need.
Yeah.
So I would just try to do what you can with it, but yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but I mean, for me, I get, top crystals every day. So even doing the 3 100s and say like Conquest right now doing the 350 refreshes, I'm still getting plus overall crystals income with dailies and stuff like that. So yeah. And then yeah. Question Helenix for Ranger. You proud of me? I asked the legit questions. Yes, I'm very proud of you. Here's a cookie, buddy. Uh See here. He says we're above the 130 box, but not at the next box quite yet. No, you're in a good spot then. You're in a good spot. LBC Robs' question: how are you guys getting arrows now? I'm using my tokens from the raid right now to get those. Um, I mean the Mark threes, whatever they're called. That's what I'm using on. I mean, I've got plenty. Either 8 or 9, mainly 9 right now, because I'm trying to get to where I have 2 in my pocket. So every time I get it, I go in there and I just go buy a bunch of those until I don't have any more of that currency. I don't know. Are you doing the same thing, Karth? Because
Yeah, all Mark III currency from the new raid is going to
arrow magnifiers.
air magnifiers, yeah. Because I don't like, for me, I don't have a hard time with the other mats right now because I just don't have a lot of R9s on the wish list. I mean, I do,
Is
but
it
I
the arrow
don't.
magnifiers or the Gerda keypads we're talking about here?
Arrow magnifiers. That's what he
Those are
said is
the
arrows. Those are the level 8
oh
materials.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you have the impulse and the arrows, and then you have Gerda and droid brains.
So let me yeah. So for me, I use my Mark threes for right now the Gerda keypads. I misspoke because I have plenty
Yeah,
of arrow magnifiers. But it
yeah.
depends on what you need, right? That's what it's there for. Whether it's the impulse detectors, if you need air magnifiers, get a bunch of those. That's cool too. If
It
you're where I am, where I'm going to be making a big push for characters, like I've got plenty of impulse detectors. I just want to have 2 solid relic nines because I may take Reva up if once they get her stats fixed. And then I'm pretty sure, Garth, we're going to get Relic 9 on something with that ship stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I got to do that. So I'm getting my
Well,
Gerda
yeah,
keypads.
I have a sneaking suspicion that
A Relic 9.
a relic 9 somewhere in there. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere in there it will exist.
But yeah, so just depends, but that if you're doing well in the 130 million, you're getting enough where you can be flexible with that stuff. So you can pick on which one you want to do with those 4. I think that's what you use those Mark threes for, period. Is that Relic 8, Relic 9 material that you need.
Yeah, I mean, the the only thing that sucks about it is that to date, the most efficient currency to spend on doing the R9 mats is crystals. Unfortunately, if you are willing, I mean, Mark III currency is still better than buying gear and trying to convert it because the gear ratio is so atrocious.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awful to get stuck up in that mix of just not being able to do anything productive on that phase.
Yeah.
Um, so I would say that, like, I would rather get my R8 sorted and then as needed when you're going for an R9, then switch
Yeah.
temporarily to picking
Crystals.
up R9 mats or with the Mark III currency. For the Gerda for the keypads, no, LBC. They're not the only
No.
way to get them. You can get them through with the Mark III mats. They are, or the Mark III raid tokens. They are available with that, but it is kind of a poopy conversion rate. But it's still better than converting gear. Like, you would spend, oh my God, like 30,000 Mark II currency to buy the furnaces to convert it into the one complete Gerda keypad. So it's still better to get the Gerda keypads with the Mark III raid currency than it is to convert it.
Yeah.
But it's just so much cheaper with crystals. Like, it is painfully just cheaper with crystals. But like I said, what I would do is focus on getting your R8 materials farmed up, and then when you have an R9 that you want to do, then just take a couple of raids off, farm those girded keypads, and roll them into that R9, and then move along. Don't fuss about trying to get everything perfect every time.
Yeah, I agree. Again, it's situational where you need to spend for what you need, and so you have some flexibility with this. For me, though, like for crystals, I just don't use crystals for gear unless I absolutely have to, um, because I'm doing a lot of characters right now. Now, that's my choice, but I'm saving all my crystals for the shipment farm that I'm doing. So in the week, get all my crystals, and then that Friday or Saturday, when the refresh happens, like I just did with Marin, she's 7 stars. I'm about to take her to Relic today. Um, Need 4 more Kyrtex this floor. It wasn't in the store. Karth, I was really disappointed. So I'll have to wait here until an hour and a half, get my energy refreshes, go get them, and then I'll be done. Right. So my crystals are a little bit more tied up at the moment for the Cal farm. If it wasn't, you bet your ass I would do some stuff like that, because now I'm just focusing on gear. But for a character like Cal, it's worth it because I've already got Cal and Seer relic and up and running with their Omicrons, and they're looking good. Marin will go to Relic today, and that'll be really nice. And then I just have to start working on Carful. He'll be the next one. Take him 7 stars, get him to gear 12. Same thing with Saul. I'm trying to take him to Relic because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be using these characters a lot. But I'm just going to go like low Relic on them starting off with, besides Cal and Seer, because I've got to get the Hut Cartel to Relic 8 so I can do more damage in the raid. So that's going to be twofold. So farming characters with crystals, hoarding all the stuff I get from raids, everything like that, buying the gear that I need, and then doing farming for signal data, things of that nature. But my signal data is going to be tied into the Hut Cartel, get tied in and for the raids, and then I'll go back in and finish those guys off to higher tier relics as I can. But you burn through so much shit. It's just you got to be smart about it. We've always talked about this, Karth, and we say it constantly. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and it's all about resource management. Being smart about
Yeah.
pick your lane. You can see I've picked my lane, right? If you see my favorites, it's like who am I farming for stars? Well, I'm doing the slow farm in Tuscan Chief and Zoid. Who am I working on gear? Well, I just mentioned it. Who am I, and then what am I doing for shipments? And then you'll see other characters like Third Sister, Cal, Bo, Seer are up on my favorites, but that's because I'm trying to finish off their mods. And that's just when I get slice materials to get them to 6A, go in there, slice them up, get them up and running, so I can get the certain speed stats that I'm looking for each of those characters. But as long as you keep doing that, and that's where your resources are going, slow process. Even if you're spending, it's still a slow process. You just gotta, you gotta stay in your lane, and really manage the resources
Yeah.
that you get.
The biggest thing is just don't deviate. That's what gets players so frequently is just deviating from the path. Is they're like, oh my God, I just want to get this real quick. And I'm like, yeah, but is it towards what you're working on? No, then don't do it. Just I mean, and this is coming from the guy who's probably has like the zero impulse control in this game. I'm just like, but I could R8 a character right now if I wanted to. I mean, I'm just gonna just go. Oh no, it happened. But I'm at a different point in the game entirely, right? I have every single character at relics in this game. I've got 82% of the characters in totality at R7 or higher. So it's like I don't need to be as concerned with what I'm doing with as everyone else is. That's like when people are like, oh, well, you've got R8 Marin and R8, Saw and Tarful, why shouldn't I R8 them? Well, because I could. That's why I did it. Like, not because I needed to.
Well, they're eventually going to be
Like,
needed for TB and other stuff. You know that's the level.
it's R7. R7's is the level right now because
It just is.
yeah, it's well, sorry.
Well, I
I
mean,
got
R7
DM'd.
is because that's that initial push you want to make in the
Well,
TB and other
it's
stuff.
to get them. Yeah, it's for their TB missions. They're going to be required at R7 for a TB mission.
And some of them now for the raid. That's
Yeah.
that. If you want to do minimum stuff in the raid at Relic 7.
Well, and that's where people should be focusing their upgrade materials right now, because like our guild, Maddie and I are working on a fat announcement for our guild, basically just like, hey, if we want to do better than 36 stars in TB, We need to start doing better in everything to get the mats required to get to the R9 platoons that we need. And we want to do it as free to play as possible for the guild, right?
Yeah.
I really want everybody to be able to get there without having to dip into their piggy bank. But to do that, that means, we're going to need that 265 crate in the raid, you know. That doubles our tokens for between the 130 and the 265.
Yeah.
So there's that's going to massively increase the rate at which we get the materials. So it's like it's one of these things where it's like, okay, so we're going to need to push for 5.3 million in the raid so that we can get the R8s required to do the CMs in phase 4. And then we're going to have to push to do better in TW by putting down some TW omicrons so that we can get more consistent R9 material so that when we get to doing, phase 5 of TB, we have the R9s. We're not forcing people to, get into their crystal hoards to go and get stuff. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get to. It's just like we're gonna have a massive switch and just like, all right, we need you guys to care a little bit more.
Yeah. LBC says, like I said previously, the new raid is going to break a lot of guilds up. I don't see the new raid doing that. And here's why. If you're not hitting a certain stars and you're close in a guild, then you just have guilds, if they want to commit to it, which they should, then lay out a plan for certain characters to go in. Now, certain players may be impatient, but I don't think it's going to be a mass switch like we've seen in the past with these raids, right? Because there's certain goals that you can get to. I think that for top end players, I'll agree with you, Rob, that if they're not getting, like, say you're like 9 million or 10 million in your guild and you're just barely getting 130, and those players might move to a higher guild that's getting closer to the 265, 245, whatever it is.
Yeah, 265.
265, that you might see, but I think those will be few and far between. I mean,
Honestly, like guilds of our size, there's no reason to break up and for people that are that are doing that kind of stuff, because honestly, it just requires people actually caring.
yeah,
Like right now, our guild we have the potential to easily hit 265, but we wanted just to make sure we were hitting the 130 mark, and because that was the break even point, right, at the beginning. And now that we kind of have guides and mod strategies and stuff that are out there, like, I mean, Jesus Christ, half the guild can get 4 million with two teams.
right.
It's like most of the guild has Mall Mandos at R7. Most of the guild has Hut Cartel at R7 or R8, right? So it's not going to be that hard to hit those thresholds, but we're just now going to make the intention clear of you need to be aiming for this. We're not going to say if you can't hit 5.3 million, get the hell out of here. Because we have players that can easily do, like me and hi, it's me, Tom. We're doing almost 9 million damage a piece on our own. That covers a few people that are short of that mark. Now it can't be that way permanently, but in the swing of getting to 265, you have some players that can compensate for some people not being able to reach there. But it gives people goals to work on, which is getting those numbers up. So I don't think it'll cause. I think it'll cause issues for players who are in guilds where they're sub 130 on the
Rewards.
crate,
Yeah.
and there's no way that the guild's getting there anytime soon. I think then you'll see players that care swapping around. But I mean, the other side of that coin is that usually counts that can do that well, that are that big in a guild that's not performing that well. Typically, there's a reason why they're there. Either they're spending the money already and they don't care that they aren't going to be getting the better rewards because they're just going to buy out the relic levels anyways, or it's the environment they want. They don't want to be in a sweaty tryhard guild that's going to make them do things they don't want to do.
Yeah.
So,
well,
so
LBC Rob, I mean, he says it's making everyone contribute, so guild leaders are going to push harder, and feelings will get hurt in the sensitive day and age. Well, I mean, but that's an individual thing. So if you're in a guild and they decide they really want to push for this and it's not for you, that's going to happen. The game changes, and if the guild might change their mentality, and you're just gonna go find another home. And if your feelings are hurt, I don't give a shit. So go find another place. It's no hard feelings. You want to have hard feelings, I don't care. It's just we want to go here. You don't. Part ways amicably, and that's it. you can't, that's not my problem. So
Well, yeah, I mean, it does push for the higher result, but I mean, the other side of the coin here, and that this is a good move on CG's behalf, is that we have literally 3 days to do the raid.
yes,
Like you've got time to figure it out. You don't have, and even at that too, you've got the time to do it on your own time. So you don't have to be forced, you don't have to be like, oh, I got to play all these game modes and I got to be done tonight. Well, that's only if you're going to sit off and not do anything about it until the very last 12 hours of the raid, right? Like you've got time. Like our guild started our raid again last night, I haven't touched it.
I haven't touched it.
It started when I was hanging out with the wife and I did not want to do it before I went to bed, so I waited until this morning. Here we are. I'll do it sometime today,
Yeah, I'll do it
you
after
know.
we get done with Jedi Academy.
But it's
So
just I hear what you're saying, LBC, and I do agree that you're gonna get the players that haven't had to play a raid in the last 4 years get butthurt about having their contribution questioned because they were getting everything for not trying. So it's gonna require players to do more, but at the same time, you've got quite a bit of latitude in getting it done.
Darth Elder says, oh, well, hello, Darth Elder. Birdie, birdie. He says, good morning, birdie, birdie, bark, bark, bark. That says, even in my casual guild, we determine if we can hit the second crate, we're doing better than if we were only doing the Sith race. So it's almost worth it for every middle-sized guild to go at it. I agree. Yeah. To get the 130 million, you need Jabba and you need Mandos. I mean, hell, Jabba alone, if you can get him in your guild, if you can all get Jabba to Relic 8, that's it. The Hut Cartel with the team up and running. And everybody does that. That's 2.7 times 50. There's your one. There's your crate. So, but if you can't, let's say you get to 1.8, but you can get your Mandos, stay at 1.2. That's two teams. That's 3 million times 50. You're above 130, so it's, you know, it can be done. So yeah, it can be done quite easily. As I said, we're well above the 130 million. We ain't even
Nathaniel Morgan,
trying.
I get what you're saying by that, but I honestly think that is one of the thinnest arguments to make about the new raid system not getting any get currency.
No, we don't.
I in honesty, the only players that are going to be worried about what they're getting from get currency are going to be players that are on the lower end of the thing. You don't need, like, yeah, get one translates into other things for gear. Sure, I get that, but the amount you're getting out of the raids each week is not going to be, it's like 10 pieces of gear, and you're making up for that quite a bit with what you can get with Mark 1 and Mark 2 currency and
Yeah,
the
because
new
there's some
raid
big
stuff.
pulls for the Mark 1s and Mark 2s that you can get. That's a lot of gear. So, yeah, I agree with that. LBC, great. They make Rise of the Empire when we finally have 12 to 17 Shock T and clones to get cam. Now I'm going to have to switch because the leaders have tried sending out messages on Discord. Now the leader wants to quit. I mean, there's going to be some growing pains with any of this stuff when you're in a guild that's mid tier that's trying to push up. You just need players that are committed, have a plan, and then if you don't have players that don't want to commit to it, then you're gonna have to. There's gonna be changeover. Oh, there's always gonna be changeover when new stuff is introduced for some of the player base. Um, when Rise of the Empire came out, guilds had to make a choice, and I know we talked about it because BCM was in a guild that was in that position. Do we go finish cam, and how are we going to do that if we do? And so, in the beginning of Rise of the Empire, they were doing a week of Rise of the Empire because they did want to get the rewards and stuff from Rise of the Empire. But then for I think was it 2 or 3 raids, they went back in and did just light side GOTB to finish up cam shards.
Yeah.
So if you're in a guild that's not finished up cam and its goal, then you can be like BCM's guild. Now I don't know how much more you guys need for cam, but yeah, there's going to be a decision making process. Like this is the plan, and then you try to see who's on board with it. You see how the guild feels. If they're like, yeah, we'll do one Rise of the Empire, then we'll do one for cam shards, or maybe we just go for 2 or 3 more TBs where we just go hard for cam, get everybody up and running and get that knocked out. So then in a month or two, We can go hard for Rise of the Empire. Plus, while you're doing the camp stuff, you can work on your characters that you know you're going to need for the new TB. Again, but there's always going to be some growing pains with that, when they introduce something. But I think leadership, as long as you lay out a clear vision, say, here's our vision. What do you think? Get some feedback, middle ground. But, yeah. Well, LBC, yeah, it's tough when this came out and people that were just not getting into Cam had to make that choice. We care about Cam because we know how bloody good he is, and I know Aldous comes here cheekily and says Cam's not good, but that's just trash because Cam is phenomenal.
Cam's a great character, but I think a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on him being vital,
Not
and
wrong.
I don't agree with that. He is a
No.
great character. I'll say that every day of the week. But I think way too many people to put so much emphasis on needing him that I just kind of go to, is it like needed? Like, couldn't you just farm it out of the
Slowly.
get 3 currency, or I mean, or farm it, or pick it up somewhere. I mean, I get where people are coming from. People don't want to do that. That's fine. I get that. But I mean, if it's so damn important to a player to go unlock Cam, then you might want to look at the option of being in a guild where that's their priority.
Yeah.
Go knock out Cam in a couple of months. Go spend every other TB in a guild that's doing light side geo, that's getting good cam shards, or have your guild commit to it. The other thing LBC is that you need to do when you're trying to convince your guild of doing things for the TB, you got to break it down from the rewards, because honestly, you got to do pretty damn good. Not damn good. I'm overselling that. It feels damn good because it's closer to where we're at, even though we're like halfway on the star count. You have to be doing what? It's like 20-ish stars in the new TB to break even with the old light side geo. I thought it
Yeah.
was closer to like 27. But I mean, if you were doing like 32 stars on light side geo,
Yeah.
you needed to be like 27 in the new one. And it's just like, so if you got to be that high to break it, it's like, what's the difference between the two? Like, you just need to break it down to a reward center. Because I always feel like players are always like, if we're not doing the new one, we're missing out. I'm like, if you guys aren't doing the Reva mission, why are you doing the new one?
Yeah.
Like, I that's my argument, because it's like it just doesn't make sense. But I hear you.
It says not any Karth. It's just I feel like my roster looks like a nature without him. I've looked. There's not like revealing stars on Rise of the Empire. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can still have phenomenal teams without Cam. Like
Yeah,
GR, GMK is phenomenal.
like you're only missing
Padme
one.
teams, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, you're only missing one team, and that's Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon Ami is the only team that benefits from having Cam in your roster.
he's
But
yeah, he's very
I,
versatile. He's a phenomenal character, but you can get away with not having him. But if you
but
have him, he's a bonus. Trust me.
yeah, LBC at that low star count though. I don't know how well you guys were doing in light side geo, but at that low of a star count, you might just want to try to see if you're like, okay, if the reward structure is close enough, then just do it. Try to convince your guild to do it every month, or the other side of the coin is try to find a guild that is doing that,
Yeah,
because that may just be what you need. And I know that's a hard part for players, but if you're in a guild that's not doing what you need, even if you love the guild, you know, you need you might need to find a change of home for a couple of months while you're getting something that you want done. I mean, that was my bit when I left my first guild. That was Cam was 100% the reason. We were getting to the Cam mission. I was the only person in my guild that could do the Cam mission, period, and was the only one getting a shard. So, we were getting 1 shard a month of Cam. Like, it would take me years to unlock him at that rate. And so I just got to the point where I'm like, well, if I want Cam so damn bad, I'm gonna have to leave.
yeah,
And that's what it came down to. I left. I left the people I've been playing with, and I went to Ghost of the 501st, where they were doing like 15 to 20 cam shards. But at that point, at least I might unlock them in a year versus 12 years. So
Yeah, you have to. You just got to
you
find
have
a
to weigh
place
some of
that
that out.
aligns with what you're trying to do in the game,
Yeah.
right? And it just happens. You just sometimes you if you're mid tier but you're progressing faster than your guild, you love your guild and you don't care, then it's not a big deal, right? We talked
Yeah.
about people that spend, but if you do and you're kind of in that position, well, I really want certain characters and things, and I'm just not getting that from the guild. It's you got to make that self reflection inside, like what do you want from the game and what do you want to try to accomplish? And yeah, nothing anymore. Sometimes Sith happens. Yeah, quite powerful. Yeah, but see, it's sometimes you got to make a tough choice. It's like, where's my guild going? It's not that it's not personal. You could love playing with the people that you play with and find them awesome, but it's like, listen, it's not personal. I'm just we're not getting what I need, and I want to progress this way. And no, wish you the best. You know, and but I'm going to go to a
It's
guild
not
like the way.
malice or ill will.
Yeah,
It's just at the end of the day, you got to take if you want something in this game and your guild isn't getting there, you need to be a part of a guild that's getting there.
yeah,
And it might not be a permanent thing, LBC. You just might need, okay, I need a guild that is getting me X amount of cam shards a month so I can unlock him in 3 months. Let's just say you are 90 shards away. So you need a guild that is getting roughly 30 shards a month. You go do that for 3 months. And then you go, hey guys, I got my cam. I'm happy that I have it now. If you'll have me, I'll come back. I love being where I was at. But it's one of those things where it's a decision that needs to be made because as much as I completely understand the sentiment, I don't want to leave a guild where I have friends and we're hanging out because, sometimes people take that really hard. You get officers who get very upset when somebody leaves, especially when it's somebody that they want to keep in the game in their guild, and then they get pissy and they take kind of a vengeful riposte to that. But you got to do what's best for you and move forward with it. You can't sit there and stagnate in a guild for another 6 months and not even get anywhere closer to unlocking cam. If it's important to you, go after it.
yeah. If you're money, use it when you want. All right. We are going to go for a little while longer. I don't know if we'll go the full hour, Karth, but it's a slow week. But if you guys have any more questions and we're engaged, then we'll continue to answer your questions. Coming to the top of the hour. Again, make sure you hit the thumbs up, guys. Stop what you're doing. Come on, hit the thumbs up. Come on. Classy. Know you want to do it. Stop what you're doing. Just hit the damn thing. Just a click. Like you just move 2 calories of energy and go click. Then you've hit the thumbs up. Helps to get in the stupid YouTube algorithm. It's interactions with video. That's how more views get on it. But yes. So feel free to do that. And if you have any questions you want to pose to us, again, get those into the chat. Make sure you put the word question for your actual question statement. You can ask us anything that we're here to answer any of your Star Wars Galaxy Heroes questions. That's what we do every Saturday. Now, next Saturday, I will not be doing any streams. It's Memorial Day weekend. I'm going to be busy, hanging out, doing a lot of other stuff. It's kind of a holiday, and I'm going to take the holiday off from streaming on Saturday. So I may get a stream in. I may get a stream in for D&D Monday night, but most likely that'll be the only stream I'll do till Tuesday of that week. Yeah, it's JG Wentworth. I have structured settlement, but I need cash now. Call JG Wentworth 877 cash now. It's my money. I want to use it when I want. Yeah, it's a big. If you haven't seen this commercial. 877 cash now.
I hate when people are like, if you need me, I'll be right here. Half hour later, where the hell'd you go? God damn it.
Yeah, Reva shards are better. They really are, but you got to be in a position to
We gotta get
Reva.
there.
You got to get there, though. So there's a
Yeah,
level
if your guild isn't getting to Reva, or you guys don't even have Inquisitor, like why is there an argument about why you would need to run a different direction. Like that's the thing that I don't understand. Is like if your guild is not getting like 10 to 20 Reva shards every TB, why are you prioritizing that over something else? Especially if you're not getting good star counts. Like
Yeah.
if you're not hitting mid 20s, it's like you're not really doing a lot better than you were in the previous TBs. So I don't know why your guild leaders care so much.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like we're going backwards if we're doing light side geo.
No,
Sure.
if you want to think that way, but if you're getting
Sure.
all that
You
get and you're getting higher stars and Lightside GOTB, plus if you need cam, knock that out. Again, you could just be like, for the guilds like that, I mean, I think BCM's guild was right on that. We'll do 1 week of, you know, ROTE, and then we'll do a week of Lightside GOTB to start getting those cam shards that were near finished up. So but if you're mid-tier gear, then you're just getting to where, cams up and you're getting like 9 to, I don't know, 16 stars in the new ROTE. You should be doing line side GOTV. Get more rewards, I think, with the roster you probably have, with less limitations, and then you can build up your roster until you guys are ready. Have everybody focus on Inquisitors and Hut, Jabba the Hutt and the Hut Cartel, and then when you're ready, make the big switch over. The people, cam shards, get that gear, get in there. I mean, the priority should be more for the new raid more than anything, so you can get those rewards, so you can start amping up your teams and characters faster. And then when you're ready, go into ROTE, kick that ass, get your shards. LBC says we have a new group that still need watts, so we're still doing that one every 4 times or something. Well, yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things. You got to prioritize where you at. Where is that guild at with their GP? What characters do people need, so that they can again round out their certain things. I mean, I don't have a problem with any guild at that level that says, "Oh, we need Watt. We need to do some stuff for Watt," or they say we need to get Cam first. We need to finish up Cam. So I don't have a problem with that.
So to be honest, and not to be a complete dick here, I have a different feeling on what because you could buy him out with the get 3 currency. Granted, you couldn't get as many as you could get in a couple of TVs, but like
Yeah.
once you get him to 4, like once you get him unlocked, Watt really doesn't need to be 7-star
No.
or relics to do anything. But I mean, if you guys want to go get him to 7-star, go do it. Don't, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, he's
But
great.
once he's unlocked, like,
Yeah. You can use him in GAC and TWs. He works fine because he's going to go first. And once he puts that tech on that you need, then you're good to go. It's not till you get to like the end game where you do need 7-star Watt, right? With relics, because it's
yeah.
just a survivability thing. So yeah. I have a structured celibate and he needs cash now. Barrel, hey, our fellow player and the Old Republic. You'll be happy to know, Barrel, that my plans to dominate the galaxy with XR Kun goes very well. You can watch us do the Old Republic content on any of our channels. I think we just did it on mine. Rams. Yeah, we'll be doing Star Wars: The Old Republic here for you guys every Tuesday. Where right now I'm playing as XR Kun. I'm looking for a new apprentice because Rams playing Ula Quadroma. I'm taking applications. Uh Ram sucks. Barrel question. Do you think they should make older TB characters like Rolo Watt Cam faster to access outside the TB? The gate seems so high for new players. I agree with that statement. I don't understand some of that stuff because this character has been out for years. They should be easier access. I don't understand.
I mean, like for me, the reason why I see that they don't do it makes some sense because I think that they still want the other TBs to have some form of
I
challenge
could see that, yeah.
and
Or
reason to
need.
do them. Yeah, but because like it's just so many guilds do not need to jump right to the freaking end game of getting into ROTE. Like it's just not gonna. Why does it matter if that happens for your guild or not? Like that's what my head keeps going back on. It's like if your guild can't do Hoth, why are you worried about Geo? Like if your guild can't get past Geo, why are you worried about ROTE? Like there's just no real reason to be so fussed about it. And I just think everyone gets caught up of like, if I'm not doing the newest content, I'm just not keeping up in the game. And I'm like, no. Not how that plays out, but okay.
Cobra Cats, welcome. Says, question: why do you think CG is so adverse to catch-up mechanics? Several of their recent changes have actually made it harder to unlock older content. In some regards, that's true. Some regards, it's not true. So like a lot of their characters. So there's two areas that I don't understand it, Karth. Maybe you can help me with why they haven't done this. Pretty much normal characters after a year, they're expedited. You get double drops, they're doubled everywhere, and you can get pretty much everybody quickly, right? The Hut Cartel characters like Chewie, Leia, and them are about to become expedited. Where they fall short and they're gated is the Conquest characters. We've talked about it before. Proving Grounds is trash, and it is a horrible catch-up mechanic. I don't understand it. I know these are more powerful characters, but same thing after a year. The people that have had it for a year don't give a shit if other players get it because they're just so used to at that level where everyone has it. So, and if it can help more players get caught up quicker, so we have a more viable player base, that's the other thing. And then the other thing is ships not being expedited. Not just what? I mean, some of these ships have been out since the ship's launch, and they're not. You can't farm them any faster. Now, there's some that are easier to get because of the stores, but even then, it's like, Jesus Christ. It's like, I don't get that, Garth. I mean, I just
Yeah,
don't think they know what they're doing with ships, and then the proving
I
grounds is just trash.
honestly, I think with Proving Grounds is one of those things where it's like it's a double-edged sword, right? It's allowing you to get the character shards faster than you could, hoping and praying that they'd show up in a shipment store at some point, at some time, doing something, right? Or having to buy out the remaining shards with actual money. But the missions are so damn hard that people that are 4 million GP, there's just not a snowball's chance in hell that they would have ever gotten, they can even do the mission, let alone 3-star it so they can just sim the damn thing. So I think part of it is I feel like the proving grounds mechanic is more of a stick than a carrot, where it's like you'd just be better off trying to get it in 6 conquests instead of slacking and not doing it all, because you're going to be punished out the wazoo for not doing it. The TB raid characters and stuff, I feel like they want those mechanics to stay where they are, just because I think it's things that are harder for newer players to double back and go get, or not newer players, but like mid game players. It's harder for them to double back and go get because it's harder to be in a guild where they want to go back and do Hoth or do something like that and get like IPD or Rolo or characters from the old TBs and raids and stuff like that. But I think they don't want to touch that mechanic because I mean, you can see their strong aversion to like giving a shard shop currency for anything. Um, I guess they just want to be careful on how much extra stuff they bring in. So they want to kind of like have the purpose of doing those events and doing them for a little while and then moving on to the next thing and not being stuck there doing it permanently or whatever else. But I mean, they did at one point, what, 3 years ago, you used to get 2 shards, right, in TB, and then they changed it to 1.
Yeah,
So, and they were like, oh, shard shop currency, it was just out of control. It's like, okay. And then they introduced a new TB with new characters, like, no, we just want you to do this new TB for longer because it's gonna take, what, a minimum of 7 months to if you could 50 shards a day out the first one.
yeah.
So I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like I don't necessarily agree with all of it, but I kind of understand why it's there. The ship one still baffles me a little bit. I think some of the ship ones should be ad, accelerated,
Yeah, it's a head
but
scratcher.
yeah, I like, for me, I just don't. I think people just put off farms for too long, and because there's no purpose to farm something, and then when there's a purpose, then they feel like they're falling behind. Oh, why can't I get it faster? Well, I mean, like, it baffles my mind right now how people have been playing this game for 6+ years and still don't have all the ships at 7 stars. I'm like, what have you been doing?
What's
like
going on?
like I give Scribe a hard time. It's like he still doesn't have a 7-star Sith fighter. I'm like, dude,
Go get it.
Why not? Like you should have farmed that a long time ago. Well,
Yeah.
I was farming other things with my things.
No.
Okay, but you could do it like 5 attempts a day,
Yeah,
and
just
just
do one
slowly kind
run.
of
Yeah,
rack it
that's
up.
what I did. I made
But
sure that because you're gonna get your energy refresh with ship energy. So your first round of energy, you go hit the node, and then if you need gear, you can second round, you can go get the goddamn gear. Damn it. Goddamn scribbles. Navju, what's going on, buddy? It says, why are there 49 watching and only 13 likes? I don't know. We've said hit the thumbs up. If they don't have to. Neil Venom's question. What it is now. Neil Venom's question. Ram is so white that when he was born, everyone in the room was temporarily blind. Temporarily? I think they were permanently blinded. They no longer are part of the medical profession. Ray Rock says, I know a lesser known streamer who still hasn't unlocked Ebon Hawk. Well, I mean, you just gotta bite the bullet, man. I did the farms for Sith Fighter and Sith Bomber, man. They're horrible. But I committed and we did it every day. And I farmed it for what, 3, 4 months or whatever long I did, and got it done. You know, you just got to do it. It's not that it's enjoyable. It's not like I'm sitting there going, "Wow, well, this is great," but it's like it's certain things I do in this game because it's necessary. Um, I mods. I do mods because they're necessary. I don't enjoy them, but it allows me to have better things in the end and stuff done that I can go focus on stuff that I do want to focus in on. So yeah, and it is a nice, satisfactory feeling when you do get your characters at certain levels and there's certain things done that you have them for when anything happens. Because I'm not worried about Sith. I mean, I don't have. I think Assassin's Gear 11. She's the only Sith that I don't have relicked, but I'll push her if she gets a ship or when I need to. Uh, so I'm not worried about it. But I have her 7 stars right there in case I need to.
yeah,
So
that's it's funny to me because like literally it doesn't matter what the only thing that they can do for Leviathan for me is require R8s and R9s because I literally have every Sith character at R7. Almost like kind of like waiting like so how much higher do they have to go? Uh,
Burrow says guilds want their players to get Jabba, but lower mid-level guilds will always have players coming in that need Roller or want Watt for GMK. When do you stop doing those TBs? That's you've got to set a timeline for that. And players, so let's say you have a guild, you set a
it's
timeline, right? So for this amount of time, we're going to do this. Anybody that's here that's committed, that's doing it, this is your window. And for this, what, 6 months, 7 months, whatever, we're going to farm Rolo. After that, we're moving on. And if you're not a part of that, then you're either going to have to get it some other way or you're going to have to, you know, uh, find another home. You know,
it literally comes down to barrel at a certain point. You just gonna have to push players that want a certain character. They're gonna have to go to a guild that is doing that
yeah.
because that's the advantage right now in this game. There are
Plenty
there
guilds.
are 500,000 players who are playing consistently. There's only 50 freaking people in a guild, right? So you know when you have that many people, there's 10,000 guilds ish out there. I know there's more than that because there's guilds that don't have full people, but it's like I'm just looking at that going like go find a guild that's doing it. Go look at a guild that's doing Hoth currently and go get your Rolo shards, go get your IPD shards. Do that for a couple of months and then go back to your other guild. Like it's fine, but like it's the thing that always kind of gets me a little bent out of shape, especially with the Hoth TBs, is players that want to go back and do that, and then they want to convince the whole guild to do it. And I'm like, you're gonna have a hard sell on that. Hoth is so far behind for guilds in between 200 to 300 million GP right now that it's a big ask for them to give up rewards for that long to go back and max Hoth or whatever else. So I would be a bigger proponent of just find a home for the shards you need, get a bounty hunter team to get the shards that come up once a month for that. You get your 20 shards there, and pick up on Rolo and that. And then I mean, and you can get them with get two currency now too. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like it's a big to do. If you really need the character shards, you can farm them through the get store too. So
Yeah. BD says, I know Jabba is super important, but I want Ray over him because of all the great UFOs. Yeah, I mean, they shine. I mean, Ray is still the queen of DGC defense. Me and Karth can tell you, she's a goddamn nightmare to deal with.
As much as everyone hates on her, she is like
She's
the
still the queen of
most.
D. She's the most,
Yeah,
and
she's
she's
still the
such a
most
pain.
used defensive GL in the entire game.
Yeah, and there's a reason why, because she's just a nightmare to deal with. Especially even if you have the right teams, and we do have the right teams, she's a goddamn mess to deal with. She's just horrible. So I don't really have. Job is important, but I mean, if you're gonna go for Ray, and then afterwards you probably want to get Job because he's super important too. But I mean, I don't have a problem with players going for certain PLs or characters that they want first. Just know that for the raids and stuff like that, Job it's really important right now. Pushing it, but if you're in a guild and you're not quite there yet for even the raid and stuff, then yeah, finish Ray, get her up and running with the UFOs and stuff like that, and then go get your Jabba because you know you need him. Just for Smuggler's Run 2, TB, all the stuff that he does. He's just so important and vital right now for TB, the raid, Smuggler's Run 2, all the stuff that we can list off. But I don't have a problem with you. I mean, she's
Yeah.
really, really bloody goddamn good. She is, and super flexible on with the teams and lineups you can use with her.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it just depends on what your guild's doing, on what job is important is. Job
Yeah.
is really important for mid to end game guilds right now because the new raid system, the new TB, the Smuggler's Run event that gives you the extra freaking slicing materials and stuff like that. There's just so many reasons to go after Jabba right now. But it's like if your guild's not in a position to where you need Jabba for anything, then go get a GL that you want to have.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with that at all. My money, I'll use it when I want to.
Exactly. Oh.
Beryl says, thanks, guys. That's really good insight. Appreciate all that you do. No, appreciate you, Beryl. Appreciate you. Well, but there's always going to be a checklist, BD. There's never not going to be a checklist. I mean, seriously, BD. Like, for me, like, as much as. So here's the way this game works. You get something done, and then you look over to your right and say, okay, what am I working on next? Like, you just, like, as soon as you get something done, you're like, did it. I got it squared away. It's in a really good spot. Got the relics and everything. I'm good for now on this. Like you say, you just got a new GL. Okay, we're good. We got it done. Square these relics. Great. I did it. Next. That's never going to change in this game. Is with the influx of new characters and stuff. There's always going to be a checklist. There's always going to be something else that you're going to have to go on. Again, you just have to prioritize and lock in what you're going to work on. You can't worry about everything else over on the right. You just got to say, what am I want? What am I working on? I'm going to go get that. And then when you get that done, great. Let's do it again. Because that's how this game works. It's always resource management. It's always, you know, I mean, Karth has everything going, but there's going to be new stuff, and Karth's going to go work on it. New checklist, Karth. You got new stuff
Yeah, I
coming, Karth.
mean, they're just yeah, they're you get to a certain point in the game where if you're spending a good amount of money in the game, you're gonna get to the point where you're gonna be caught up in air quotes here, right? But the thing is, though, is the way the game is set up right now, there is no such thing as caught up. There's just things that are always going to be working on, right? Like it just changes the priority levels. Like my priority right now is starting to R9 characters for the TB platoons because I'm gonna do a hefty share, partly because I went through already and picked all the factions I want to do. It's like, yeah, I gotta give them for platoons, but they're factions I need a reason to level up, right? So if I, like in phase 5 and 6 between the two, you're required to R9 all a Bad Batch besides Wrecker, which go kick rock, CG. So all right, well, I'll just do that. That was my project for the next phase of TB. I'll go R9 my Bad Batch so that I've got them for the platoons, but that's something for me to work on. But it just takes time. And so it's very hard in this game to whale to the point where you can just have everything.
Yeah.
So there's always projects. There's always something to do. There's always something um, to be working on. So
I agree. I have a structured settlement and I
but you
need
need to
cash now.
when you're looking at stuff like that, the important thing to look at is what benefits your account the most. So that's the thing. Is like why I mean, you tell anybody like, well, what GL should I work on? Java, because Java offers so much to
Right.
the personal and guild progress of an account. and a guild. And so it's like it's so hard to ignore that. Ray is undoubtedly good, brings in good characters and good things for an account, but Jabba just brings in so much more, and that's the part that I think players get a little bit bogged down in, is that they want to work on what they want to work on, which is completely fair. Go ahead and do that. But you
Yeah.
can't ignore or devalue the benefits of having Jabba in your account would bring you. I mean, the ability to slice more mods every, because the event comes twice a month. You're able to slice 4 6 dot mods a month from what you get from that event. You can do, a few reslices at 6 dot as well from that. You can do a few upgrades
Well,
from
yeah, and just
as
that
well.
5 8 to 60 materials in that is just
Yeah, and
incredible.
it's just a lot of things that you can get to work on, and I think that's and people kind of undervalue for what that brings to an account. But again, if you really want Ray, no one's saying you can't have her. We're just saying that Jabba is also a great character and brings a lot to an account.
Again, it's prioritized, the checklist. Like for me, I've got Sortie and Trench, both 7 stars, I think gear 8, before you just have to start using Cartex. They're still sitting there at 7 star at that gear level. Why? Priorities. I'm in the Cal team. It's just, with the new TB and the characters being dropped in there to help the guild. Plus, I just want Cal Survivor. So I prioritize where I'm not doing anything with Tuskens. I mean, I still have to get Chieftain, but I'm slow farming him. So I've got Warrior 7 stars. Gear 8. Not going anywhere. There's no point for me working on that. So, um, I've got them. Could I work on them? Yes, but that's going to slow down what I'm trying to get for Jedi Cal Survivor. Because if I can knock him out first time, 1 shot, 1 kill with the route I'm going, then I can go back and work on those when we have some of those down periods. And we do get them here once in a while. We're like, I can work on this character plus work on this over here. I'll start priorities. But Cal Survivor on the Jedi team with all these other characters plus the UFAs just really opens up my roster. Trench, good. Compared to that, just in my head, that's just how I'm playing it. Would it be nice to have the Tuskens all up relics? Got half them relic. It'd be nice to get Chieftain and Tusken up, but there's no point because I'm not going to get Chieftain anytime soon. So, yeah, and I'm not going to move with my roster. I'm not going to move Watt over to the Trench team for TW. That ain't happening. So, Trench will sit there for a while. I don't want to invest in any Omicrons or anything like that. So it's the way you got to have it working in your brain. Like, what do you need? What do you need to work on? What's going to be the best for you that you want to play with? And what's going to be best for your guild? These are questions you got to put in there and make a plan, stick with it. Then you're off to the races. Hey, Nightmare says 100% free to play. I can stay at the top of the game pretty easily. You can, yeah. If you're a day one player, it's a hell of a lot easier. Like I know a lot of day one or early players that have been playing this game a long time. They can do it, and there are some that are not quite at that level that do it. You can do, when you say competitive, in your mind, what does that mean? If you can win most of your stuff and do a lot of good things, to me, that's all that really matters. There's going to be certain things that you just can't do, and it's like, okay, cool. You just have to get over it. Again, it's a long-term thing, and as you progress, you get more stuff, move on to other stuff, and then it unlocks things that helps you progress faster. It's a slow process, but if you get certain things done at certain times and you work on it and you get it done, it's one less thing you have to worry about. And as you progress in this game, the stuff that you start knocking out that you no longer have to worry about just opens up
Yeah.
doors to other things.
Always a new shiny.
There's always going to
Always
be
a
new
new.
shinies, man. You just
And
can't
then, and
chase
I
the new
mean,
shinies.
and we know exactly what's going to happen. Like I can tell you with 100% certainty what's happening between now and the end of the year. I can't tell
We
you the
we just did it.
character.
Yeah, we just did it this week. We're like,
Yeah.
so ship this summer. Fall will be
GL. Yeah.
GL, and then
Yeah. Fall.
around Christmas time will be some kind of legendary, some kind of thing. They're staying
Yeah.
on the
Some
same
sort of
cadence.
legacy
Yeah,
legendary character. Like we know exactly what's happening over the next year. We over the remainder of this year. We got another 6 months of or 7 months total
yeah.
to grind through. And it's no surprise, but I mean, it's like, okay, so, you can kind of get ready for the Leviathan where there's a lot of guesswork. I mean, I haven't done anything for the Leviathan because I'm waiting for Rex. So I'm not going to get ahead of the game here besides 7 starring the 2 ships that are coming because they're going to be a part of the fleet, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, no big deal. and then we know there's a GL coming. Okay, well, just gonna sit back and wait. We don't know what we have a strong inclination,
Yes.
you know. What when there's kind of a weird coincidence going to happen when the Cal Marquee events end in game. That also coincides with what historical anniversary, Ranger?
That's the 40th anniversary of
Yeah, so there might be a decent time to, if we got a GL that's going to tie into that, it might be a decent time to, announce that character and maybe get the first marquee out the door and, a couple other things, you know.
just say 40th anniversary. So yeah, our inclination is Leia. Rebels is the only faction that don't have a GL, and of all the factions, we think that that's the one that it's going to be. Now, they could completely throw us off, right? They could throw
Yeah,
us a curveball.
they could. I mean, I don't know which way they would really go.
I
You
don't
just don't
either.
have a ton of options.
So yeah, June
Oh,
is the next
white
row of the
flag.
hex. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. But
good morning.
that is definitely the case. But I think they'll tease it because remember we had a JMK tease with Cat's release, and then the full-fledged JMK post later.
Yeah.
Well, actually, or was it the other way around? We had Cat teased with JMK. I don't remember.
It's
One of the
something
two.
like,
They'll tease something. I guarantee that if they're gonna do something related to the Return of the Jedi, which we kind of know is gonna be a thing because they leaked that back with Skiff Lando's kit. That there's gonna be a thing for that. So
yeah,
my
and when
guess,
those marquees are coming in end of July, August, right? Whenever they launch it, we're gonna have a pretty good idea of which direction they're going. Because what was it? The first one last year was Chrysanthemum. We're 100.
yeah,
We're like, wait a minute, because last year at this time we were like, is it either gonna be Jabba or is it gonna be Leia? That was the two that we were honing in on. We didn't know for sure, but we were like, let's wait and see what the marquee is. Chrysanthemum.
yeah. The only red
Hmm.
herring was Malgus, right? Because everyone
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, old Republic. Maybe we're going back to old." No,
Now
unfortunately
calm your
not.
tits.
I know. It's like, no, come on, Old Republic. But no, yeah, it's a pretty good idea that we're going to be headed towards a GL Leia, and I can guarantee you that for a large degree of it, that they're going to give us the entire team like they did with Java. They're going to give us 3 to 4 marquees that
Yes.
are going to be required for the event, but they're also going to be required for the team.
Yeah.
And in my head, that's the only way they can do a Rebel GL.
Yes. You
Because
don't want to pull from the others.
well, we don't, it's not even that. It's not even pulling from the others. You don't want the others to work better.
Right.
Like it's going to be like they're building a ship in the bottle. You are trying, like when they did Jabba the Hutt, they created the Hutt cartel tag and gave it to characters that, you could argue didn't need it, because they wanted to block out Jabba from functioning with bounty hunters
Right.
beyond the minimum, right? And so that's a kind of a thing that they're trying to do. So that's what they're going to have to do if they do a Rebel GL, is they need to make sure that Leia doesn't take CLS and Chupio and everyone else and do other things. So my guess is that there's a strong suspicion that there's 2 options. Either they build that out, or they build it out to where it's like it's kit call outs like they did kind of in the Hutt Cartel stuff, or they're going to create a new sub faction of rebels, or I could see the potential for a new Republic tag and walk away from rebels entirely, because honestly it's just one of those design spaces where they have so many rebels that CG is going to just be like, okay, either we completely hamstring the GL by not allowing them to work with certain characters, or we just basically make it so that this team is the only thing that works with this GL. It's like you get your Rebel GL, but if you don't have those 4 new marquees, she is absolutely trash, right? So I think that's kind of the direction they'll have to go, because Otherwise, it's going to be just a block of text. If all allies are rebel, but none are unaligned force users, which basically just means get rid of CLSs, then these effects take place, and it's just going to be like just a mile and a half a kit if we get to that point. So I think they're going to be in a position to where it makes more sense to kind of like Rebel High Command or New Republic or something.
Something along those lines.
But I would love to see like General Leia, General Lando, General Han. Like I would be just absolutely tickled to see like the whole like rebel general kind of theme. That would be kind of funny. I could laugh out of that. So, but I
What?
feel like if we do a
Yeah.
new Leia, it seems like it would be a missed opportunity not to bring in like an Endor Leia. But I
Yeah,
feel
then
like
you
then
get
we're
Captain
doubling.
Han, or General. They'll all be generals. General Leia, General
Yeah,
Han, General Lando. Along those lines. So it would be
yeah.
totally
It'd be
understandable.
it'd be interesting. I would love to see some of that stuff.
I would too.
Get us some options. So I mean, we'll see what happens in the long run. But basically, it's like we know for a given fact what's coming out over the next 7 months. We're going to see the likely 3 marquees tied to the new GL. We know there's 2 ship marquees coming out with the new ship that's coming out. We know a few other things that are going to happen beyond that. We know there's going to be 4 to 5 marquees that come out with the next legacy legendary character.
Yeah.
So there's a strong chance that somewhere down the line Zori Bliss gets her Y-wing dropped at some point.
Yep.
My guess is that they're waiting for the Leviathan's kit to be finalized before they drop it, so that the resistance isn't better than or beats it, right?
Well, we gotta
So
hope.
because they learned that lesson once already.
Yeah.
Here's the Executor. Here's the TIE Echelon. The TIE Echelon now lets the First Order beat the Executor. Son of
Oops.
a
God
oopsies.
damn it.
We've made a mistake. So I mean, yeah, there's just things like that where it's things that need to be done. Yeah.
Wi-Fi rebels are the best faction in the game already. So
Well, they're the best faction because they've only ever built upon the team. It is the one faction, Whitefly, that they have repeatedly improved year after year after year. Like CLS Han Chew, or Han, R2D2. Oh well, let's give you Chewbacca. Well, let's give you C3PO. Well, let's give you 3PO. Like the team just keeps getting better. They keep adding stuff to it that makes that team keep getting better.
yeah, and it's just a great kit design on that team. Momo's. I
Yeah.
mean, I agree. Rebels one of the stronger factions in this game. Um, because with Momo, now Saul's actually upped them up a little bit too. And then CLS, it's a strong faction.
Well, Momo's still better than Saw
Yeah,
in like the PvE aspects, because Saw's team is just not Saw's team is designed for PvP. It's not designed to take a punch to the face for a year and a half. Where Momo's got a lot more sustain to it. Because I could show you the footage of my Saw team getting absolutely rickrolled.
we're gonna give
It's
you up, never gonna let you down.
so they have their differences, but I mean CG's done a great job over the last 2 years of filling out factions and providing support for those factions.
Yeah,
And yeah, well, I mean, see a lot of things. I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, there's just, all of the Star Killer requirements, all of the Cal requirements, a couple of other GLs, or not GLs, but just other characters speckled in, like Iden and oh man, I have to go through my account and start looking at all these
You got
characters.
Zori. You just go down
But
the line.
Zori and
Yeah,
stuff like, but they're just
Sortie.
characters.
You
But
know,
they're characters that are elevating neglected factions, right? They're not just keep pushing out
New
new stuff all the time.
Tuscans.
So
I mean, yeah, you can go down the line. Helenix, totally serious question for Ranger. Let's find out if it is, Karth. Do you agree with me that we now must have 4 more huts in the game to go with Jabba? Perhaps Gardula, Gorfa? No, I don't.
no,
No.
I mean, I would love to see more huts in the game as more of a way to bolster like the scoundrels.
Yeah.
Like if they wanted to do more like scoundrel bounty hunter teams, I could see that being kind of a fun way to bolster. But as a full hut team, no.
Yeah.
Because if they're going to make huts large units every time, it's not going to work. You can't have 5 large units. You're literally only allowed to have 1 large unit on a team at a time. So I can't ever see that happening.
Snoochie Boochie says depends on which era Leia they go with. Could do Rebel Resistance tag General Leia since Resistance is on the best raid team squads now. Possibility, but I just think it's going to be
They don't have enough resistance left over now with
not with
Zori.
Zori. Yeah, so yeah, because if
I
they did
mean,
that,
if
that
it,
just neutered Zori's Omicron, and people would be a little upset that they invested in that.
yeah, I honestly would say that if Leia at the best of it is going to be a rebel tag, at the worst of it, it'll be a new faction because we kind of have that open door right now due to Mando, right? We
Yeah,
have the New Republic kind of functioning in the background. So CG could use that as a launching point for a new faction tag if they really chose to. But I honestly think it will be Rebel, but I would not be surprised if they added a new faction tag.
yeah. LBC says questions. Swear last one. Ask all the ones you want, man. Says I'm about to do the Lord Vader Ultimate. I'm currently doing Jedi Luke. Should I do a little bit of both Jabba and GML, considering they already have a lot of the GML from regular play? No, pick one or the other. Don't try to do both at the same time, man. Just pick one or the other. You're
Yeah,
close to the
pick one,
JML, go
finish
get
it.
JML and finish that. And then
I mean, Jabba's cheaper. Besides unlocking
yes,
Jedi
very
loot,
much cheaper.
Jabba's cheaper to go get, and much more functional than JML. And this conversation could go right out the window once Cal gets to the game, right?
Yes.
Because we know that Cal's intention is to lift the existing Jedi teams, and the only Jedi team that I can see that needs to be lifted is JML. Now, granted, that's from my perspective. I could see arguments for like Jedi Knight Revan, Jedi Knight Luke teams to be lifted as well. But
He needs
most
his lifter
endgame
bad.
players, yeah, C needs
He
something
needs help,
that,
period.
yeah, he needs help that makes the team not just be like, well, if I can't underman, I can't use him.
Yeah.
Like that's the problem with C right now is he's so detrimental to his own team because the Sith can't revive, so you can't really run a lot of other Sith under him, and they're just not durable enough to survive the new onslaughts of everything that's provided by the new characters. That it's just like, well, sorry, Steve, kick rocks.
Get bent. Die.
Yep.
You go to hell and you die. No, no, Helly. No, we don't want to. We don't want break the game, and I don't want to see five fat huts on the screen. Trying to
If
figure
you
out.
want to see it, go watch Clone Wars.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Go watch Clone Wars. Yeah, then get your hut. Get your fix there. All right, buddy. All right.
LC has a question.
Yep. I have five. I have a relic 5 Cal. What should I do with him in 5v5 GAC? Well, if you don't have
Ray.
Seer, then he's going on
Ray.
Yeah.
Go with Ray.
Yeah. Ray is the answer we were looking for. And
If you don't have Ray, then tell us, and then we'll give you another answer.
Yeah.
But
well, but I mean, you're only 4 out of 16 JML, and on JML, they're LBC. You mean Boba, yeah. But you 3 characters for the Hutt Cartel, get the rest of them up. I mean, 4 out of 16 versus factions can cost you less relics overall because
I guess
JML,
the better question, LBC, is how far away are you on the shards for the remaining characters
and they're
in
about to be
totality?
expedited.
Because Jabba's characters are going to be expedited here pretty soon.
And some Cantina too.
But then like some of the stuff is going to be like, do you have a 7-star Gamorrean Guard? Do you have 7-star Mob Enforcer? Things like that.
Yeah.
If you don't have those, then yeah, go do JML because you're going to spend the next 3 months shard farming Jabba. So the question is, how far away are the shards? 'Cause if you don't have like C3PO or Momo farmed at all, like those are going to be a pain in the butt too. So there's a lot of things that would be under consideration there. I would need a much more specific, detailed list of what you got going on and where. But
yeah. What else in 3 question? Fun fact for Saturday: the new Lord of the Rings home game also has the disappearing button bug, just like SWGOH.
I mean, it's built out the exact same framework. Like, come on.
yeah. So people ask me, "Are you interested?" I'm like, "No, I'm not interested. I'm
No.
not interested in playing another mobile game. I'm fully committed." As much as I love Lord of the Rings, Karth knows I'm a giant Lord of the Rings dork. I mean, I can talk about the characters, the histories from start to finish, the entire story. It's stupid. Just not interested in that game. And I'm just not. And Star Wars has still always been my number one passion, as much as I love Lord of the Rings. But the
I'm
game
just too
just doesn't.
vested right now.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
invested in Star Wars. I don't want to commit to another game where I have to do double duty with this shit. So yeah, yeah.
pass.
Yes, I'll just do a PS tier. Be more fit question. What is and well, welcome to Be More Fit. This question: what's the best modding for Black Hand or Java? Oh, a lot of beefiness. That's a pretty guarantee. Trying to
For the most part, people are just modding him for all out thickness.
yes,
Let's see, where is mine?
protection. Let me look at mine. Quick.
I think a large like so I modded with health, mostly health sets. I do have one defense set just because I had better stats on it for what I wanted.
I went
But
health set and tenacity. They were just better mods than the defense I had. But if
yeah,
you went defense set too, that wouldn't be a problem.
but basically, if you're running health sets, you're running protection primaries on everything.
Right.
Because he is just so stupid thick. But when he dies and comes back, he comes back with percentage of his stats. The bigger his stat pools are, the more he comes back with, the harder he is to kill. So basically, you just want him thicker than a goddamn Snicker, and then after that, just do what you can. Maximize the health pool and the protection pool, and then try to get secondaries that are beneficial to him after that. But don't worry. He doesn't need to be fast. He doesn't need to be anything too crazy. Or do any damage. He just needs to sit there and take blows all day.
Hmm. I have a structured settlement and I
Oh
need
God.
cash now. All right. LBC says decision has been made. Jabba due to the new raid and the flow of the game. There you go. And now that you've made that commitment, rock and roll, baby. Just stick with it. And I guarantee you, you'll in the long run, you'll be very happy. Be super duper happy. So happy. You won't regret it, my friend. Yeah, I've
I
got
mean,
on Chrysanthemum, I've got him very thick. Now I got to take him to Relic 8, and then he'll be even thicker. If you're over 200,000 with protection and health, you're doing good. He's
with
been.
you say that as I'm at 300K
I know, but yours is like
protection.
what 9,
I'm
Psycho?
350. Yeah, I'm like 350. It's
Yeah,
it's
I'm like,
I really went nuts on his modding, and that's why I said like that's why I have a defense set is because the secondaries were so damn good. It was just too
well, I
hard to
went
pass up on.
tenacity, but that's just because I had protections with health and the secondaries and stuff that I was like, yeah, it's a better set for the defense. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a let's see,
I've got a
round that
protection
up.
arrow, cross, circle,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've got 327,000 combined health and protection on Chrysanthemum.
And that's not even counting his
His uniques
yeah,
and leaderships and everything else. No,
yeah.
it's just his flat stats. He is he is hands down like one of the best tanks in the game, under Jabba the Hutt, because that he's just so stupid that once the contract gets hit, he is so hard to kill.
Yeah.
So hard to kill.
I have a structured settlement and I need cash now. So yeah. If you
That's
get
always those things are always just a crock of shit. We'll settle your stuff, but we'll take like 80% of your money. It's like, oh, yay. Thank
yay.
you. Just what I needed. Just what I needed.
All right. So if you guys have any more questions, wrapping it up here. And then we'll get it going. Actually,
Say
looking
that,
at my
sir.
mod on Chris I'm like, I could do better, Karth. I think I can get more protection on him. Since I'm about to take his ass to Relic 8. It's like, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me, I should go just do my Hut Cartel run while we're sitting here staring at the screen.
Mm-hmm. I think I
All right. Deploy, disobey order. I like how like my top row of ships is like like a million GP. All right, we need 200,000. Let's do. Now we need 71,543. That's close enough. We are 95 points away from a star in dark side. Deploy.
Amen. Amen.
Well, I'm trying to see on the math side of the page if I well, I can't think of the words I'm trying to think of.
Words.
Um if we could push a 37 stars if we just did the platoons in the Ring of Kafrini operation, because we might just try to maximize that one first while we're building everything else up and prioritize the operations in that planet.
Right.
And then just see if we get, because we're gonna do all of Sector 5 at some point. So if we can do that one, do enough fleet missions to where we win because you get like 1,000,000 points for winning the fleet mission, right? Yeah,
Yep.
well, 1.5 million, right? Yeah. So calculator,
Calculator.
enter. We need how much do we get? We get 33,264 per operation. So multiply that by 6. So it's basically just shy of 200 million if we fill the ops. Um, out of the needed 341,
Divide by pi.
257.68. So we need 141 million
Million.
to get to 1 star. So divide that by 1.443488, which really, I mean, but the profundity, I mean, 98. Well, that's not possible, is it?
All right, we'll get in one more question or two in here. LC question. Remember when CG tried to mix up GAC by restricting certain characters? I think that was TWs. But would
Yeah,
you
it was
welcome a
TW.
season where GC had say no GLs?
Nope.
Nope.
I never, ever, ever, ever want to play a game mode where I cannot use
Stuff that we've
something that
worked
I
our ass
invested
off on.
that I have invested into.
Yeah. It just didn't work in TW and it's not gonna work here.
I mean, it was only fun for the guilds that were behind. Like that was the only reason it was fun, because the guilds were like, "Well, we don't even have that many Revens, so yeah, we don't have to see it anymore." You know. Now I would gladly
No
uh
Datacrons? Oh, absolutely. I mean, you had me at no.
I would gladly see, like, actually something that I saw that was interesting proposed, which it's just interesting. I don't necessarily want it, but if they did a similar thing to TB into GAC, where you platooned, air quotes platooned, certain characters
Lasers.
to power up a zone, right? So it's like if I give up, like, let's say 5 Sith characters at Relic 7 or higher. So like let's say I platoon my Malgus squad to a zone. And then that zone, the squads in my team gain an effect because I did that. That would be an interesting way for me to use more of my roster inside of GAC, and then would give me the ability to engage with it or not, because you would have to choose if it's worth powering up your zones versus taking those characters on offense or leaving those characters on defense regardless, right? So that could be a more interesting way to play GAC, but I feel like that's only a thing that would be fun for players at like 11 million plus GP, right? Because I think if you're at like 7 million, you're having to decide on if you should give up 12 characters to sit on a platoon. Yeah, you'd be suffering really hard on offense to counteract it, or you'd have to pray to God that the defense bonus was so good that your opponents couldn't get through it if they made the same decision. So, I mean, I could see something like that being fun, but that'd be more fun for like, the top end at Kyber 1, not like the entire game. But that's the only thing I could see. So if basically Ranger, if we filled operations, we could get the entire guild to do the mission, the CM. We would only need to deploy about 40 million into the Ring of Graffiti, and we would be at 37 stars. But
So
we
that's
don't
not happening.
we don't have 57-star profundities yet. So
No, yeah,
which I mean, I don't think you need the
yeah,
profundity. I
no.
think it's doable with Negotiator, but I would need to check. I needed some testing done. I'm gonna see if some people are willing to do Negotiator and Resistance on that fight and see if it's possible with anything besides profundity.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, just eliminate 80% of your roster. Yeah, pretty much. All right, final call for questions because do have to leave at the top of the hour. I got to go pick up some medication over at the store there. Get some cleared and stuff for the old mom because this time of year, Karth, I don't know if you have allergies. It's brutal. Oh boy.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but if I did, it would suck to live in the town that I do.
Yeah.
Between all the
Pollen and the
well,
pine
we
pollen
live in an
and yeah.
agricultural town,
Oh yeah,
so like
that's it.
the
Yeah.
fields around us are corn, wheat, and everything else. So it's like high
So you're
winds
doing
come
right,
through,
are
and
you?
it's just like you just watch the sea of pollen move through the air. Alex
Uh,
says, "There's a question for you, Ranger."
I know this will be our last one. Question for Ranger from Helly and Karth. He says, Karth, now that the job event has introduced Hut Slayer Leia, do you think we should all demand the character to be released in the game? And please elaborate on your guess.
No, no, I don't want a version. I don't want a joke version of a character. Like I just don't want that.
Yeah.
Like at that point, CG, just sell me a skin. Like let me pay $25 to make my Leia look however I want her to look. Like at that point, like that's what you're asking for. Because I just don't like the idea. I think it's just a dumb. Like I get where players want the character, but like what they're gonna have to create. They're gonna have to have a whole new kit. They have to make the character viably decent. And I think it's just a bad tactic overall. I don't think we need sexualization of pixeled characters in our game.
I can anytime I want to see Carrie Fisher, I just pull up the old interwebs
Yeah, I mean,
and
I can
froth at
find
the
about
mouth.
80,000 better versions of that character skin on Reddit in about 20 seconds.
Yeah, I'm good.
Like I'm I'm fine with that. Let
LBC
that
Rob says, "Doesn't you don't have 57-star profundities?"
oh
Well,
it's just the crystal income off of it, man. It's like there are so many things to work on right now, and like the people in our guild who have like 5 and like 6-star profundities looking at the Leviathan showing up here soon.
tough call.
It's a tough call.
I'd rather than get the Leviathan than go back and worry about profundity. Because
See,
we'll need
the
that for
thing,
dark side ship
yeah.
battles, which will help us out tremendously.
The thing in Morgan's correct. I do want the Slay Leia skin, but I don't want the Wish version of that because that's Ram. That's Ram and a Slay Leia costume. That's the Wish version I'm getting, and I don't want it.
I have to deal with that, Karth. Don't. And it's gonna be horrifying, you know.
I
I'm gonna
know.
be in Vegas and I have to deal with that. Mr. Brown says Ranger has to rush to the store. Must be a selling Fosters. No, I already bought the Fosters. Yeah, we're good there. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, I've got plenty of Fosters. All right. With that,
it's hard to type and FAP at the same time. They're Hellenics.
That's true. Yeah. All right. So we are gonna get out of here because it's the weekend. I hope you guys enjoy it. We'll record the latest episode of the lore videos tomorrow, for you guys. And yeah, it's metal. It's Slave Leia. Hell, yes. It should piss me off, Karth, because I'm doing the full Beskar Mando, fully committed thing, right?
hmm
Those two drag queens are doing what they're doing. I have to walk around with them. But at least nobody will know who I am. That don't
I
know who I
mean,
am.
on the upper side, though, the it's it's at least it's those two the ones that are doing it. Like, I would have a hard time with even the thought of you trying to dress up as a woman. I just think you would
Yeah,
be
I
like,
don't make a good woman. Yeah,
no,
I'm
it
pretty
wouldn't
sure.
go well. But
Yeah.
like the person. I think Heinz is gonna just be fun. Like, I pray to God somebody's following with a little like camera phone,
Oh
just
yeah,
because
that's we're gonna
I
be
think
streaming and
I
stuff.
think there's gonna hit a moment for him, like in the costume, where he's either gonna just lose his shit on somebody, or he's just like mid the stretch of Las Vegas, just start stripping it off. I'm done with this shit.
Now, quick announcement before we go. And thank you all for being here. I'm not streaming next weekend, so there will be no Jedi Academy. It's Memorial Day weekend. I'm busy that weekend, so there won't be a lore video. We're all gonna be busy. It's Memorial Day weekend, for Christ's sakes. Just go have fun. I may, because Friday night we're gonna do JC. I'm gonna be on Ram's channel. We're gonna have fun. If not, then I may stream JC. A quick Jedi Academy, but it'll just mainly be just a quick do a JC and then enjoy the rest of the weekend. That's about it. If I do anything, but I'm not doing a full Jedi Academy. As I said, I'm going to be busy next weekend. We've got people that are going to be hanging out, and mom's going to do all this cooking. It's a big weekend. So yeah, just giving you guys a heads up. So, but appreciate you guys. If you like this content, hit the thumbs up, subscribe. You can check out our other content. I stream on Twitch Monday through Thursday for the lunch stream. We do the Wednesday night stream. We do the Old Republic with the boys. We got RSG Variety. If you haven't checked out that channel, that's where Finn plays all those other games with our fellow skewers, doing marbles and just doing ridiculous stuff. Tea parties and Fall Guys and all that thing. So if you want to go check that out, please do. Yes. LBC in Vegas in July. That costume's coming off quick. What the best Garmando costume? No, it's not. I've got the AC fans, or I got the fans and the thing installed and everything. I'm gonna be doing a test run too next weekend for that with the fans and everything. I was gonna do the previous weekend, ran into a little snag, got it fixed, so we'll get all that squared away. And I'm gonna do a test run just to make sure it works. Then I'm packing it up. I thought about maybe doing a stream with it on. Like, no, it's gonna pack it up, get it ready to go to Vegas because we got 40 days till Vegas, and Vegas is going to be a big deal because it's going to be my birthday weekend and it's going to be my 7-year anniversary of streaming. So that's going to be just a crazy time there. It's just going to be go, 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 go. So
Go go Power
I will
Rangers.
be, yeah, it's going to be a thing. So, all right, with that, everyone have a great rest of your day. Love you guys. Be safe, and we will haunt you later. Peace out.